We are here. And we are healing each other with joy, happiness, and frequencies.
Oh, that was low energy that we started with, but now we'll bring it in the high energy. No, Delby. Delby has just been healed with the Healy device, so we're joined by a regular guest, Chelsea Morgan. But before we go into what we chatted about, as you can see behind Chelsea Morgan, if you're watching at home, today's episode is brought to you by alltradescover.com.au.
If you're a tradie, they will help you. Call them for all of their specific services.
Yes.
Or go to alltradescover.com.au. And thanks very much for John Elliott coming out. He came back from Bali and came and met a few of the listeners.
Yeah, that was great. It was actually
I didn't get to catch up with him enough, but that was good.
Nah, it's a good community we're building.
Shout
and
out to all the Patreons that came.
It's great that he's part of that. So thank you. But yeah, alltradescover.com.au for all your trade insurance, especially if you're a small tradie. Get on board. This episode is also brought to you by Raunchy Brewing Co.
Yep.
They are the beer that's actually good. And I know we slandered a bit of beer today, but me and Delby also had big weekends on the beer, so we talked about that.
Yeah. High frequency beer, these guys are. So if you want to get any high frequency beer, Raunchy specialist.
100%. But we were joined by Chelsea Morgan. I love having you on because you're not afraid to give it to Delby. It's the funniest. But do you remember, what did we chat about today? Because we covered a fair few topics.
We did. We talked about goal setting and moving to the future that you want, what holds you back. Oh, gosh.
RTT, hypnotism.
Yeah, but we also talked about
subconscious pathways.
Yeah, psychology, neuroscience, everything, brain.
Triggers and self-realizations.
You tried to unpack Delby, life on a pod as well, which is...
Yeah, which was cool. And then the Healy kind of confirmed at the end, which is, it's really cool. I loved this episode.
Delby's getting energy zapped into his body as we speak through using the Healy. But good fun episode. Really enjoyed it. Always a pleasure to have you, Chels.
Yeah, I love it. Thank you for having me.
And let's get hard.
Let's get high frequencied.
Welcome to Hard Yarns Podcast.
I am fucking fat.
Anything Chris White says, please disregard it.
5D is actually a state of being. It's a unity consciousness.
That was Hard Yarns with me, Frankie Rose. So I'm going to throw it over to your co-host,
Daniel Delby.
And Cameron Branch.
I would do this and then I'd gong.
Free in attendance for the millions listening at home. Let's get
And
one day of indulgence.
In what realm,
what?
mate?
So Tim Ferriss is for our body.
Yeah.
So the what do you call it? The prescription, when you prescribe something, the routine or whatever, the method to follow.
The structure.
Yeah, he was saying like no white carbs. Anything that's white with carbs is pretty much out. And then 30 grams of protein in the morning. Like it's old, but then on a Saturday or a Sunday, you just eat whatever you want because it gets the body's insulin responses, and then it comes back down to base level.
Do you think anyone would ever do that?
Tim did.
Yeah.
And people that subscribed did.
Yeah. It's not
28 days.
It's not sustainable, that sort of stuff. Just eat just go very, do you know what? A pretty rough guide, go like 80-20. 80% good stuff, 20% shit stuff. Then you're pretty good.
That's basically what it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Eat well 80% of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Then you I'll do that all the time. I'll just be like, almost everything I'll do is good. And then I'll go and have like once or twice a week a fucking shitty burger or something like that. Who gives a fuck? If everything else I've had is good. But when I say good, I mean proper good. Not like, what do they call it? Armacane healthy meals and fucking
Ignorant food.
Yeah, exactly.
Ignorant eating. But the insulin spike is interesting because that would be true. But then if you've got to make sure that after the spike goes up that you're like making sure that you're, for want of a better word, nurturing the space of the insulin working. Sure. Like you can't then, after you've had an indulgent day, do another one.
No.
Sorry, anyway. We better start recording or whatever.
Yeah, we're recording anyway.
Oh, are we?
Yeah. Yeah. you got your Healy on again. I love it.
I do.
What's
Ian
the
Healy?
what's the
Is that too dark or is you're right?
yeah, I turned off that light so we weren't.
Mm.
What do you reckon?
Yeah,
It's
I
alright.
like your
pretty cool.
lighting.
Yeah.
It's good.
You think that's fine?
Yeah,
Okay. That's what we're going with.
All right.
jolly
That'll
good.
be lovely.
My eye bags. My eye
Oh,
bags.
Lord.
Not as bad as usual.
Classic.
So, me and Branchy both had a
weekend.
very big weekend.
Yeah.
you start.
So,
Yeah.
well, we talk about that indulgence. I actually felt like I don't like doing it often. And I said this to Delby on Sunday night. I was like, I don't do this very often, but because I've been so well behaved, I'd scheduled this in. Mentally, it was like I'm allowed to do this.
Interesting.
The next day, though, I didn't like it. I wasn't that hungover, but I just didn't like how I felt.
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Gay.
I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm gonna start by doing. So I'm gonna do the 55 kilometre pint to pint, and then I'm
Is
gonna
it
do
55 now?
Yeah, we're gonna finish it for off now. I think.
Yeah, fuck.
And so I'm going to do now. Like, I think this is a good way to just kickstart it. I'm going to do the 75 hard. Have you done those 75 hard challenges, or do you know what that is?
No.
You go 75 days without drinking, and every day you got to drink a certain amount of water, do a certain amount of exercise, read a certain amount of pages. It's 90% of what is on there I do anyway, but the drinking is something I'm not too bad with, but I don't not drink. So I'm just going to try it. I've got a few mates who have done it and they swear by it, so they fucking just annihilated those 2 or 3 months. It's just so much more productive.
It's the worst time to do it.
I know, but that's probably.
Summer.
But is that probably the best time to do it then?
No.
You know, like as in.
Summer's, bro, it's way more fun when you drink in summer.
Well, the thing is, I thought that until the other night where I went out with a couple of the lads. We went and I drank 0 beers just so I'd fit in. I don't know why I had to fit in, but I drank 0 beers. Had a fucking awesome night.
What's that mean?
Like 0% beers, the fake beers.
They taste shit.
Yeah, I know. I just want, and this is the thing. What was the? No, it tasted exactly the same as beer, and I like tasting beer. So so I don't mind beer, and I felt like it was the same process. Maybe that's what I needed to ease myself into it. Maybe I wasn't mentally strong enough to just have a couple of
placebo.
Cokes.
Like if it tastes exactly like beer, you're like, I'm drinking beer. I'm with the lads. Good high
It's a fucking
vibes.
awesome night. It was so good. I went home earlier than I normally would on a big night out, and then woke up great. Was able to do this.
When was that?
It was about 3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But this weekend gone, we had Friday hard yarns. So shout out to everyone that came out.
Oh,
The
incredible.
Christmas party.
Incredible night.
Yeah. And then,
That was not. I was not anticipating going that big.
yeah, I called it mine at like 11:45 because I had a big Saturday. But I did drink fairly heavy.
I was the same. So I still went home reasonably early, like 12:30, something like that. But fuck, like between when the show finished, 10 o'clock ish. I don't know. I can't remember when the show finished. But between there and 12:30, there's a lot of drinks.
Just went out of focus.
Oh, there we go.
Is that when you felt the next day? Is that when you woke up and you were like, I just felt off? Like I just.
Oh no, that day I was proper hungover.
When Monday?
No.
Oh, Saturday.
Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, I was proper hungover. And I didn't like being hungover, but I allowed for it. And I was like, no, you were going to have a good time. You knew you were going to be feeling a bit rusty tonight. And I sort of had the same sort of thing on Monday. But Monday, after the big Sunday, which was a big golf day that me and the lads have, and end up seeing Delby and Cam.
It was Jade's birthday.
So it ended up being quite a big day. My first beer was 7 o'clock in the morning. And then... so it's a proper big day, and then I got home about 11 o'clock at night. So that's 16 hours straight of drinking.
Yeah,
So
that's
Saturday night I did a spot at Lee Dog's
Yeah.
stripper night, ladies' night. I had a corporate at 2 o'clock, which went really, really well. Then I had a wedding, and then straight to the ladies' night. So partied until and then a birthday that I had at Magnet House till 4 in the morning. Got home for 5, sleep by 6:30, 7 o'clock ish.
Yeah.
And then woke up.
No.
And then Cam was like wanting to go out, and then I was like, fuck yeah, it's Jade's birthday as well. So I got back up, had a bevy, and then got home and went to bed at 2 on Monday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You know how I said you're a beast of
Correct.
your own? It's the beastie vibes, mate.
Beastie Boy.
So actually, it's funny. Maybe, I don't know, well, you might not know the science that delves into what alcohol's doing to our body, but maybe know a little bit, maybe potentially the energy side of things. You could talk about that because I'm interested to see how I go with this 75 and hard. And I've done a 50 days off alcohol before. It's fucking people would walk. Oh, you walked in, went, what have you been doing? And I was like, not drinking. You're like, I can tell.
Yeah.
And so there must be something skin wise, like looks wise, eyes, clarity, I guess. But
You get less floaty, I think. My mum could tell when I didn't drink for.
yeah, you did
it.
it.
Like 30 days.
Yeah,
or
you did a
something.
little one. Yeah.
Well, there's so many like elements to this, but I'll speak to my knowledge as far as it goes. But like, okay, so obviously at the physical level, alcohol is poisonous, so it's going to create inflammation in the body, and then you're going to feel sick, and then you know that's going to create toxicity in the body, acidity that adds like in the stomach. So then when your stomach and your environment's acidic, you feel crappy, and then you want to eat acidic balancing foods, which feel like carbs, but then they also break down, as acid in the body. So it's like all that inflammation, yuckiness at the gut level, like physical level. But then also at the energy level, alcohol is like a low vibrating substance. So in the quantum world, physical, energy world, the like attracts like. So if you're drinking alcohol, then the cells within your body are going to match that, and you're vibrating low because alcohol's a low vibrating substance.
That's why I have vodka Red Bulls. So bring that vibration
Well,
up.
even Sunday, like Sunday night was great. But I also, throughout that whole Sunday and Sunday evening, like I saw the worst of some people that I'd never seen. And when I say worst, like just like sides of people that I was like, it's not. That's it clearly brings out the worst in people.
But people that are just bad drunks, man.
Yeah,
I
well,
can't-
I'm a fucking bad drunk.
Yeah,
I was so drunk.
What were you doing? Tell us the dates. You were like, I did things that I wasn't. What did you say?
You did
not
butt
me.
stuff.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, someone put a golf club in his bum.
no,
is with
just
you and
like
your gay-
throughout the day, like you see when I say the worst side of people, like people who are upset about something that starts to come out, and you're like, oh fuck, okay, I was having a good time until so I think it does escalate if you're
that
feeling
low-
shit about
low
something.
vibration.
Yeah, it just brings that sort of stuff.
Yeah,
up
it
and-
often brings out the truth, the hidden truth within people. So it's like alcohol, for want of a better word, blocks that filter in our brain, that high executive functioning part of the brain that analyzes, problem solves, makes decisions. So when you throw alcohol in mix, you lose that part of your brain that's like a high end filter. So people don't have that filter. So they're like, blah, it's all coming up to the surface and all.
Well, for context, like my alcohol intake that day was there's drinking and there's fucking the absurdity that I was doing. Like I think it was 18 holes, and I had 12 beers in those 18 holes, which is by 11 o'clock. That's 12 beers in 4 hours. That's a bit much.
Oh.
12 standards.
And then we carried on, and so we went from there down to Hillary's, and then Hillary's to Scarborough. So I would have had close to fucking 20 or 25 drinks.
How long did it take you to fully recover? Like a week?
Well, it's still
Just
like
2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Oh, yeah, right.
So
Yeah,
I
you'd still be in
still
the.
a little bit, feeling a little bit like meh.
Yeah.
Not the
I'm
worst.
just coming good now.
Yeah, I had a really good day though. I did yesterday. Like I did all the things that I know I should do to recover, and I didn't fall into the hungover traps of eating like shit and stuff. I got the opposite. I actually get the opposite. I go, fuck you, idiot. Start doing shit.
You keep going out of focus.
Or maybe I will put the light on.
Well, yeah, because everything that you eat when you're hungover as well, like your body tries to absorb all that like fat and oil and saturated fats and stuff. So actually people put on more weight, let's say, or when they're hungover. So you've got to be if you're trying to shred the weight, don't be eating crap when you're hungover, because your body will literally attach to it, absorb it straight into your cells and hold on to that fat in order to try and protect your organs. So it will actually create like a film around your organs to protect it from the alcohol, and then you throw in food and it's like sucking up all the sugar fat. So
I spent like $130 on Uber Eats yesterday.
yeah, I could see in your eyes, you were like, fuck.
No, I ate really healthily, drank a lot of good water, and did all the right things the next day. Even actually the whole weekend, even though I was quite drunk, I actually ate pretty well almost the entire weekend. So that's a positive out of all of that. Generally,
good.
sometimes I eat like shit and drink like a lot. That's the worst. But yeah, I don't know. If anything, the thing it took from it was I had a pretty good time. I had a really good weekend. I had good fun.
Yeah.
But I still, I could have had half the amount of drinks and still had just as much fun, or I could have had no drinks and probably still had just as much fun. So I don't know.
Stick to your 0 beers, I say.
I don't think I'll do. I'm definitely a nothing in absolute sort of person. I don't go, I'm never drinking again. But I definitely affirmed the fact that I don't want to do that a lot anymore.
I'm an absolute person too, but I mix it with water and lime.
I just think those nights are great. Like when I haven't done it for so long,
Yeah,
it's
it's good.
perfect.
Little blowout.
Your little blowout's great.
Yeah.
Like a little, just a little a reward, I guess. And then not beating myself up for doing it and just having that was good. Feel like shit. Right, reset. Start
Correct.
again. Go back to what I was
Sometimes you need to like scratch that itch in order to like rebalance yourself because you can't you've got to feel what it's like to feel crap in order to have the drive to feel good. Or for me, I just went for the first time. I haven't had a day or a night away from Sunny, and I thought I would by 16 months. And so I booked a trip over east to see my friends for 5 nights, and I was like, I'm going to be loose. I'm going to dive into that maiden self and all that. Anyway, by the time I went, I was like, oh my gosh, I haven't had a night or a day away from him. This is crazy. Anyway, just went and dove in and I was fine. But when I was over there, like it felt like hectic. And then when I had time by myself, I felt like just a bit weird and whatever. And I was really in that maiden self and just being me. And I came home and I was like, oh, that's really good. I feel like I can almost close that door to that self because I scratched that itch.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I felt what it was like to be in that experience. And I was like, actually, in my mind, I thought that was a great idea. But when I came back, I was like, oh, it feels so good to be like grounded and stable, which I thought I would never say in my life.
Yeah.
Because
The same with I understand that completely because went out Sunday, I was like, probably wasn't worth getting hammered. And I was like, that just reaffirms for me, Fringe Festival, I'm going to have that massive run off.
Yeah, it's like a good kick up the arse to go, that was fun, but yeah.
But I still always have fun, man.
Yeah. Well, you can have fun without drinking. I mean,
he's like drugs.
Yeah.
but just like if you're going to drink, just make it more of a like, this is a celebration. This isn't just because I'm fucking drinking again.
Yeah.
When it's like that, that's why I think I had a lot more fun on the weekend because it wasn't just another weekend where I'm hungover and spending too much money and fucking drinking and eating like shit. It was just like, I haven't done this for a while. I think that happened the last time I did it as well. It was maybe like really big. It was probably like 4, 5, 6 months ago. And I woke up the next morning feeling like shit, hungover, and I was like, that's a good night. All right, back to what I was doing.
This is 30s, hey? In our 20s, we were like, didn't even
unbeatable.
touch the surface. Like, and if only we could know what it feels like to drink and have big nights now, because I was pretty nuts in my 20s, but I would have been even more because it's like you just spring back, you know? It's crazy. I think back and I'm like, I could not drink and even eat those kind of like acidic foods without feeling so crap, you know.
But I'm also of that ilk of if you're going to be the best version of yourself in regards to how you're representing yourself everywhere, you have to feel the best you can and you have to be living in those sorts of traits. And for me, I don't give my best representation of myself when I'm drunk. I make poorer decisions. And I think Dr. Stephen Bright said it. It's not weed that's the gateway drug. It's fucking alcohol. Because you make it's not Stephen Bright who makes the poor decision. It's drunk Stephen Bright who makes the poor decisions. And I'm the same. I make poor decisions when I'm drunk. And also, I'm far more motivated. I start to be more, clear in my direction. And I'm more than happy to sacrifice 50 big nights a year and make it 3 or 4. If I can have, the other weeks are fucking epic where I'm going around traveling trying to get this thing going to kits and gigs, for example. I'd much rather work hard to try and get that than...
But no wonder then, before you know it, you're 50.
Yeah, but I've already done it.
And you're like, I missed out on my youth.
Well, yeah, we'll be saying this at our 50s about our 30s. What I just said about our 20s. Like, if only we knew what it was like to drink when you're 50, because 30 was fine. You sprung back.
That's why I'm doing it now, hard now.
Oh, are you?
Yeah, because I've got more money now and I can actually have a better time.
Yeah.
When I was in my 20s, I didn't really.
I would argue I've already done that. So that would be my, like, yeah, you are only young once. So, like, fuck, when I'm 50, I might not be able to go for a run the next day. My legs and stuff
true.
might be sore. I might not be able to go fucking cliff diving or whatever, those sorts of things as well. Now, I'm not saying I wouldn't do them hungover, but, you know, like, I would just argue that I've done the youthful drinking. It's like, oh, I've done it before. Like, why wouldn't I do something different? And I don't know what that is. If I just stayed home and watched movies, that's not the same.
That sucks.
So that's you might as well be out drinking and having fun. Like,
Been at home watching movies for 2 days.
Yeah, since Sunday night, Monday morning. It's fucking shit, man. Hurts my back.
How
to lie
do
down,
you-
it hurts my back.
But you're like with your ADHD, like obviously can't sit still.
what do
how
you do?
Yeah, how do you watch? I mean, I can imagine you get so absorbed into the movie. What did you watch?
Scroll, watch. Do 2 things at once. I watched Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget,
What?
Oh Lord!
and I watched Leo, Bill Burr's one. And then I did...
Kids ones? Is that your like?
They're not kids ones. They're kids movies for adults.
A sense defense.
No, like people that like... All movies are for fucking adult. All the Pixar, Disney ones, they've got adult humor throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, I get it.
But I watered the lawn, I'd press pause, go do that, come back.
Yeah.
So I watched it in like 20-minute chunks.
Lord, you got to
But
be the worst person to watch a movie with, surely.
It hurts my back like to lie down for so long. It literally...
Well, that's another
fucking
bad thing
hurts.
that's come of it. First time in a while, I had a bit of a sore back and whatnot.
Actually, I wanted to ask you that because I listened to Boris's episode and I can't wait. I'm actually going to catch up with him tomorrow morning just to chat because we both love the same sort of thing. So I'm excited to meet him.
Not to interrupt, but I love how this pod's creating like little connections. Even we've had a few people hit up Boris and then a few people hit up you. It's
great.
I'm loving this shit. But yeah, sorry, carry
The
on.
puppeteers
catching
of
up with Boris.
connections. Well done. And I wondered, because you said to him on the podcast that you wanted to go for your back. And in my head, I was like, yes, do it. Because I've always thought and felt that it was an energy thing.
Yeah.
Or subconscious something. I have an idea of what it could be, but what...
Are you trying to unpack Daniel?
I
on
want to
his
do
own
it
podcast?
live. I want to do it live. Unpack the beast.
Yeah.
Let's unpack the
Do you
beast.
consent, Daniel?
Nah, there's no consent. Who cares?
I love Chelsea.
I wish I was packing a beast.
So, did you talk about your back? Did anything come up with that?
No. We spoke about it, but nothing really came up. Yeah. I think in a past life I had a huge cock and it was weighing me down.
Oh my God, grief.
And then my back gave up.
No.
No, I don't know. Nah, nothing that comes to mind.
Yeah, because back's the area that carries the intelligence of like feeling supported.
Yeah. Yeah. So
we're going to unconsensually unpack right now, are we?
no, I honestly I can't remember.
And
I think,
ADHD, it's wired
I think
to that.
the scenario came up again with my grandma, the one I spoke to you about when I had to kick her out when she was attacking mum.
I don't think that came up with us.
It did.
Did
in
it?
RTT, yeah. So I had to be the man of the house at like 10 or 11 and
Oh, yes.
kick
Yes.
grandma out. So that came up, but I don't think it had anything to do with my back. It was just something that popped up.
It would,
Yeah, but that would be a support thing, wouldn't it?
Well, I fell out of a fucking tree, man, and landed on a big plank of wood. So it could be that as well.
yeah, but Joe Dispenza was paralysed and was able to fix him. So,
Yeah.
wow.
He is a doctor.
None of this stuff
Yeah.
fell on a tree pole, mate. But
Yeah,
I
he
fell
knew
out.
exactly how his back was put together, hey? Like ins and outs.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
knew everything about a back. So it's
because
hard.
he's a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that would contribute to ADHD, though, that scene where you had to kick your mum out, or your grandma out to protect your mum.
What do you mean?
Do you want me to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Hey, go.
As you can
long as
tell, my
Daniel's all right.
energy is low. I'm exhausted. Yeah.
No, you seem fine. Well, because ADHD is like from 2 things: either being highly alert, like what Boris said, hypervigilant, and like attention to detail all the time. So you know what's going on there, like every area of the room, and you're highly attuned to everything. That's why you're just like highly alert. And that would come off the back of that scene because it's like who's coming in, who's coming to attack, who's coming, you know. So there's that wiring that you have to be on and highly alert in order to protect your family.
Yeah, that came through with Boris. He was saying like same thing. That you said that to me as well.
Or it can be the opposite, where it's like attention deficit. So it's like they can't concentrate. They have like a lack of ability to focus, concentrate, absorb information.
I'm the other type.
Yeah, that's ADHD. ADD is usually this one, but this is the kids that grow up in an environment, let's say, for example, that there's domestic violence or violence around, and they go inward and they shut off their exterior environment and go into their interior environment in order to protect themselves. So then they grow up with this, not like attuned into what's happening around them, you know, because it doesn't feel safe.
Yeah. No, I'm super aware of what's going on.
Yeah,
Like
you're definitely
every corner of whatever's happening.
Yeah, you're definitely
Would you start to, if you're aware of everything that's going on everywhere, like all the time, would that become a lot?
It gets pretty tiring.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
you see how it works with your rapping.
Yeah.
You can see, and your riffing and comedy.
Yeah.
I can see 100% how
Yeah,
it
you're
becomes.
lucky that you used your ADHD as your superpower. I think about that often with you. There's a lot of people that are like you and they work against it or they medicate themselves to numb it. And it's like, it's actually, to a certain extent, hypervigilance can be a superpower if you use it and channel it, you know, to make yourself successful, which you've done.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen it as a negative. That's why I'm like, I don't even think if ADD is a real thing. I'm just like, maybe I'm just fucking...
Yeah.
I just have something that other people don't have. But I wouldn't say it's like the classic ADHD stuff. But
you're also very intelligent.
Yeah, but...
Like as a kid, like full nerd vibes, aren't you?
Correct. I was the fucking biggest geek of all time.
Yeah, this is how I know.
Did I send you the home videos?
No.
Oh, fuck. I'll film some and send it to you.
But I remember your mum or you or someone telling me that like you were full, like it locked in my mind because as like I love to obviously analyse people and I thought, oh, that's interesting. So, yeah. Because you weren't born with ADHD. Well, depending on, you know, the way you look at it. But... you developed it and I found that interesting.
Yeah, I was a full fucking nerd, bro. Like I would have beat myself up if I was back in time.
What
do you mean? Interesting. You just hung yourself there. I'm going to circle back to that.
I was a geek, bro.
So why would you beat up a
geek?
You don't like to be intelligent?
Well, I wouldn't have beat myself. I would have protected him. No, it's just like... I was just a fucking nerd, bro. I'll see if I can find some videos put on Patreon. Like, full geek.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just sold my whole Goosebumps children book set as well. I read the whole Goosebumps series.
Cute.
Yeah, I used to love reading, man.
I can see this your face changes where like this cute little innocent, like, I don't know, I haven't seen it before. This like softness, this like cuteness.
It's called Hungover.
I can see it changing your face. But I was actually saying to Branchy when I was coming in, I was like, I was saying for someone who's like so intelligent, this whole, you know how we were having these quantum physics conversations and I was listening to Holly's episode where you're like, you know, I just don't get it. Like people aren't explaining it right, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I rang you and I said,
it helps for like palatability for a podcast because people would be the same. They'd be like, explain it, make me understand it. So it does help with that side of things. But
it's good. No, it's great. And I'm happy to explain it again. But the thing is, I've explained it to you a lot. And I'm like, hang on a second. I've got to take this deeper. Why don't you want to understand?
Oh.
No,
what's the gain in not understanding? And then when you were like, I want to beat up my intelligent version of myself.
No, I don't want to beat up. He was a geek. He was a nerd. He was a loser.
Was he a loser though?
Yeah.
Why is he a loser?
Bro, just trust me. I was a fucking little loser, bro.
Look at him. I love how he's squirming. You're squirming in your seat.
I'll get some videos and I'll send you.
Oh man, I was a fucking geek. Like
what do you mean was?
Like, yeah. I still am. I don't care. Like, that's that's just who I am. Like
Yeah.
I was always everyone made fun of me. Everyone still makes fun of me. All my best mates make fun of me because I know I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
Well, legacy comes in here. The first thing you do is just trash me the whole time, and I
Yeah.
fucking love it. Like for me, that's my a feeling of endearment and acceptance. Like they know they can make fun of me because they know I'm fine with it and I'll have fun with it. But
No, I just with the
yeah.
quantum stuff, people just go, yeah, it's quantum, it's physics, it's
No, but I've
energy, it's
explained it.
frequency.
yeah, but
Delbs.
even Boris explained the quantum entanglement. So we understand how the quantum entanglement is affected by the observer. That's an interesting thing to begin with. I don't claim to fully grasp the idea of quantum entanglement and quantum physics, but I've had more intelligent people explain it to me, and at that moment I quickly understood it and then I forgot. It's hard to, it's one of those things.
Back
I
to
feel
the
like if
quantum
you
way.
constantly were studying it, you'd probably have a bit of a grasp of it. But even the most intelligent minds on the planet don't fully comprehend it.
Yeah.
But the fact that there is something there, it just makes me go, okay, yeah, I trust it now. Yep, trust it.
Yeah.
So I guess what you're saying is, why doesn't he just trust that?
Yeah, well,
Is that what you're saying?
I was listening to Holly's podcast, I think, or part of it on the way over to Victoria, and then I rang Delbs. I was like, Delbs, why did you say that I haven't explained it to you? Look at his face. When I
Do you want me to play the voice message? Should I find it?
Yeah,
oh
that's
shit,
so
am I gonna? Well, hang on, should we?
Well,
or
you go.
whatever.
No, you go first.
And I was like,
If Delby's going to be vulnerable,
Yeah.
you have to be vulnerable and
I'm
hear
like,
your own voice on voice.
what am I gonna say in this voice note? Oh, good grief.
You're a fucking idiot. It's
Yeah, she's like, excuse me.
Excuse me, bloody mate. The good
that how
thing
I
is, you know
talk?
what actually I think is, like people would wonder, I wonder if people put on voices and if they act differently on the podcast. You are definitely the same person when I get your messages and shit. Hey guys, you're such a fucking dag, man. I love it.
Am I?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's a good thing. That's a good
Is
thing.
it?
Yeah.
Endearing, like what we were saying. Anyway.
Dags are the best. It's the best.
Yes.
Look at him go.
But no, I love talking about like quantum and exactly what you said. Like it gets to a certain point where there's a gap, and that gap people need to like embrace. It's because it's kind of not known. It's kind of like the same situation with dreams. Like they haven't fully understood what it is, and some people can't accept that, and then other people can just accept it.
So the one thing, like when it comes to faith and trusting and blind faith in the universe that we're talking about, things that have been put to me recently is I've still been trying to have this almost plan where I know what's going to happen, like security, I guess, or maybe just trying to figure out what's next. And that's not blind faith. The full blind faith is stepping into what's unknown. Otherwise, if you know what's going to happen, that's not faith. That's just doing what's logically safe and next.
Yeah, it's somewhat controlling, isn't it?
For someone who keeps saying they want to step fully into blind faith into the universe, I need to actually stop trying to pretend or even try to understand what's going to be happening next and just go, no, that's I know what's happening next, just trust it. And it is said and it is done.
Yeah, because I was thinking about that as well before. My brain was like, when you were saying that you couldn't be hypnotized. Because you try and analyze and you think, I know what you're doing. And I thought to myself, it's really interesting. His intelligence is sabotaging.
Correct.
Hang on, let me get my head. So it's like, your intelligence sabotages your experiences. But then also I can see sometimes you push it away. You're like, I don't understand. And it's like, you do understand. Why do you not want to understand?
Well, because no, I do. I don't. If I say I don't understand, then I don't understand, or it hasn't been explained to me logically or thoroughly enough, or with something that resonates with me. And I think that until I get to a point with that, with anything.
So when I did the Healy scan on you when you came to Dunsborough quickly, and you were like, "What?" You were like, "That was good," and then I explained it to you. What did you understand from it?
That it matches your frequency, but I still don't believe in that shit. I still don't think about frequencies as like who annotates that a high frequency must be good and a low frequency is bad. Who says that? Like just because something is low doesn't mean emotionally it's low as well. Does that make sense? Like if something has a low frequency, why have we annotated low frequency to a low emotional feeling? It might just be the fact that it vibrates at a lower rate. That doesn't mean that it's worse. And when things are at a high frequency, that doesn't mean that it's better.
And
I'm
that's
more
what-
elevated than you.
And that's your
that's right.
your analogical and practical mind.
Well, it's
thinking.
like me just,
being
it
like
just
devil's
feels like
advocate.
someone's
Yeah.
gone, oh, you know, this frequency is lower, so it's worse. It's not good.
Ah.
Where it could be a good thing. Just because it's low, humans, we associate low with worse.
But it
No,
make
okay.
sense?
So like the best way to probably explain it is like frequencies waves, hey?
Yes.
So waves, slow waves are big, fucking choppy, huge surf waves, whereas the highs is like very flat because there's not all that ups and downs.
But also, I understand what you're saying.
Karma.
Yeah.
If you look at it like the body's a
Let's
house.
explain. Let's do it. Let's do the role play. Let's as if we did the Healy, and then.
Well,
I
hang on,
can
let me
ask
finish
questions.
this first. So, let's say the body is a house and we say that emotions are there to teach us something. I agree with you. I don't think anger, despite the fact that shame's the lowest vibrating emotion. Anyway, let's go with that. But sometimes shame is there to teach you a lesson. It's about how you use the frequency, how you use shame.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes shame makes people be better. So it's not that I don't think they're saying that something's good or bad. It just is. It's a lower hertz. It's just lower vibrating. It's just the way the world works, right? But labeling it good or bad, people say that anger's a bad emotion. I totally disagree. Like even shame, like it's not bad. Nothing's good or bad. It's about how you digest, process, and deal with the emotion. You choose growth, the opportunity, or you choose.
Yeah.
That's why it's not like when you don't avoid the feeling and the emotions that you're going through. You move through them, acknowledge them, and then recognize why I was feeling that way and try and work through it.
Yeah, exactly. That's pretty much exactly what RTT hypnotherapy is, right? It's finding deep, dark seeds within your mind that control your negative behaviors and then dealing with that, you know?
Yep.
So how do they contribute to your triggers and stuff like that? So something like that might trigger Delby, the fact that he can't understand that is like, nah, fuck it. And I'd be the same. Sometimes I'll be like, unless you can.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. So, but you know what I mean? Like if you don't understand
Keep
something.
going blurry again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
If you don't understand something, you get not angry. You get triggered by it. So I wonder if there's something with you need to be in control or need to be able to understand it. If that's a trigger.
Yeah, it's
Like,
it's definitely a control thing.
yeah.
But
That's just
understanding is
something I just thought of then. I wonder if that's a thing. Yeah.
Well, understanding is control and control is safe.
Yeah. Security. Yeah.
and safe is freedom,
Yeah.
you know? So we're always seeking freedom.
Yeah. Okay.
But freedom to each person is different, you know, looks
Yep.
different. But yeah, I think understanding is probably your freedom. So when you don't understand, you feel trapped and not free. And so then here comes the big finger up to not understanding.
Because then he doesn't have control over the direction of where his life's going.
Well, it's more you feel trapped. Like you're in a cage. I don't understand. You know, it's like you're trapped in a cage.
Yeah.
Can't escape.
No, I just get triggered that if somebody else is claiming to understand something that they can't explain to me well enough for me to understand it,
Yeah. Okay.
then I won't listen.
But that's
to you.
fine, I
I'm
reckon.
Like, well, I'm not going to listen to what you have to say until you make me understand what the fuck you're talking about.
Okay.
You're
well,
very
the question is,
yeah.
why wouldn't you blindly believe?
Because that's fucking stupid. Well, let's just blindly believe that fucking the spaghetti column
Okay.
monster is.
Okay.
gonna
So what about
look after us.
what about your intuition? Okay. So this is because your energy is in your head. Like if you cut your head off, it'd grow legs and walk out the door. Let's be honest, that fucking thing. But
I love Chelsea.
there's a knowing, right? There's
Yeah.
a knowing with energy stuff. It's like it's not a decision. It's not a decision that you make in your head. It's a feeling. It's like I get it intuitively. I understand because we are part of this intelligence that we're
Yeah,
talking
yeah.
about. We are frequency. So you either like there's a knowing in my gut. It's like it's not in my head. So maybe there's and we've talked about this before in the past a lot. There's a disconnection between heart and head or gut and head and intuition. But the funny thing is, you are really good at manifesting, like you said on Boris's, was it, or someone's I listened to.
Said it,
And you are, and I think that's because your ability to visualize and see it and draw it in and magnetize it into your life is so vivid. Like because of that, whatever, just you being you, the wild beast, it's like you can sink into all the senses. Oh, you know what it feels like, tastes like, smells like, looks like, the details. And then all of a sudden, like attracts like, so you're magnetizing that reality into your life.
Well, that's the thing for me where it's a knowing. I'll like know that something is going to work or something is like I'll have that knowing. So I agree with you on that. The flip side of that is, I guess, like when I'm at odds with why I know that, like I need to understand up here why I know it.
Yeah,
you know?
well done. That's exactly right. That's the disconnect. And I
It is the
believe that
disconnect.
then that's where the war starts, right? In your body is that there's a war between your heart and your head, and then all of a sudden they're going like this and they're creating that war, and that war is probably partially the ADHD or the scatteredness, and then when you feel that war, it's like then you go into that like like the avoidant kind of slob mode, lazy, whatever you do, procrastinate, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. And the double trigger for me is like, I get so triggered by people that are like, you have to know that the spirit world is going to guide you and you're going to be
Why?
like, I know that. I know. But then when I see people like that or hear people talk like that, I don't want to be like that. You know, even though I believe in my heart, my stomach that
what they're saying is true. Yeah.
I fucking hate how they communicate it. I can't handle. It's just this sense of arrogance, entitlement, and I'm better than you.
And why do you feel that? I'm interested.
Because that's how they act. They act like I have all the answers in the world. I know everything. This is what you have to do. And even though I agree with them, the way that they portray it to me, I fucking don't want a bar of it. They trigger me, those people.
Yeah, why? Because like I would hear the same person and go, "Oh yeah," and I'd
look
still
at them
look
and
at
they feel fake. They feel like fucking that they've seen this is how you're supposed to act.
Yeah.
And it's not authentic. They're not authentic.
But maybe they do. That's actually how they feel.
No, it's not. Those people aren't. The people like Boris is he's authentic.
Yep.
You can tell he's authentic.
Yep.
He doesn't come in here with his fucking headband on and like his woo-woo shit. Like, do what you
She's
want.
not wearing a headband today.
Not
no,
Chelsea, but
surely
Chelsea's
not.
authentic.
Yeah.
But it's that I need the authenticness to go, you're not doing this for show. You're not saying this because you've learnt this and then you think you're a fucking guru. Those people trigger me and I refuse to, and then I just shut down.
And do you think it's your perception of what that is, or do you think they actually are like that?
I don't know. I might be wrong. I'm not sure.
Because maybe they truly are being their authentic self, and it just really annoys you. For example, I was listening to a book the other day, hated his voice. And then it was like the full on, you have to be the psychedelic warrior. It was like, I hate that voice. It is triggering. It is a bit like, the stereotype. But the message that he was saying was incredible. So I had to go fucking check your own ego, put that away and listen to what he's saying. Because what the message he's saying is fucking incredible. I get what you're saying because that voice does. But also, that's also
it's an ego thing for me probably as
well. I'll try and break it down a bit in a second. But what I will say is that I get it. Yeah. I think actually for me, one of my biggest triggers is probably people not being authentic and genuine. Like,
because there are those people around.
Number one.
I know what ones you're talking about. Yeah, you can see them.
So I get it, but not everyone's triggered by that. So it means it's ours to own. So that comes from our story and our experience, you know. But I would say that you said that people that aren't authentic, they come across entitled and condescending and like authoritative.
And that's your intuition saying they're unauthentic as well. Yeah, so that's good. You can tell. You can tell.
I agree. You can tell. But also I think that you have an interesting relationship with authority and entitlement. And if people are going to step into that place and tell you what to do, then they better be a good fucking person.
Yes.
And we know where that comes from.
Or they better live by example.
And we know where that comes from.
Whoa.
Who?
That what? That's...
Dad.
Yeah, but that's a different kind though.
Yeah, but he's your dad, so
Yeah.
he's in the authoritative position. But you look at him and you're like, you don't fucking know what you're talking about, mate.
Yeah. Well, with some stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I do, on the flip side, I do respect authority. I have a respect for, you know.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
What
You've got an
people's jobs
interesting
do.
relationship with
Yeah.
authority. I think that's the word I use because I agree with you. I think that you do respect authority. Like I've seen you at teaching and stuff. It's
Yeah.
not like you're like, fuck authority, rebellious, because we know those people. They're everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think
It's
that
authentic authority. Like the triggers for me with listening to Mark McGowan's press conferences, there's no authenticity behind what he's saying. Whatever he was saying during our lockdowns and everything, you could see there was no logic and there was no true reason for what should be happening. It was all a disconnect. There was no like alignment.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
Yeah. So, for example, if in that situation he said, look, I'm fucking the fall guy here.
Correct.
I really don't know what to do. We've been given this guidance. If I don't do this and we go the other way,
Yeah.
I'm going to look like a cunt. So
Yeah,
we're going
yeah.
to play
If he had to
worst
come out
case
and
scenario.
frame it
If he
like
said it
that,
like that, like, well, I need to do the thing to protect us. Otherwise, I'm going to look like a fucking idiot, my administration, and you guys are going to go, you didn't do everything you could.
Yeah.
If he said it like that,
Yeah.
it's an authentic way of saying it. Instead of saying, you're a fuckhead if you don't do what we're saying, do as you're told.
Do what you're saying.
Yeah.
and often a trigger is something that you've owned.
Yeah.
So there's probably a part of you in your history that you're very much getting the arrow shot at you today, by the
That's
way.
right. I'll go for it.
This wasn't in the intention. I
This
thought we
to-
were going to talk manifestation.
I know.
That's good.
Yeah, we can.
No.
Yeah.
Is that there's probably a time in your life where you weren't authentic. And so when
Yeah.
you see a non-authentic person, you're like, hello, I know you very well. You're talking shit to get what you want. You're in your ego.
Yeah.
You're not genuine. And you're like, I know that so vividly, so true. And I feel it in every cell of my body when people aren't authentic. Why? Because I've experienced and I've been there. You can't see something that you don't possess yourself or you haven't possessed yourself.
Almost my full
Because you don't know
almost-
chocolate cake if you haven't tasted chocolate cake, right?
My full
You can't see
teenage
it.
years from 13 to like 18, 19, I wasn't my authentic self.
That's what, like,
So-
I'm definitely not saying that in a bad way, but like, I know, and I think most teenagers are in that way. They're always trying to be cool and fit in with the crowds.
Yeah.
But I remember that with you. Like,
So I never hung out with
What-
anyone in my year. It was the year above. I didn't really fit in with them, but I kept trying to, and it just wasn't my...
yeah, it
wasn't
did feel
myself.
like you just
It's a
making sure
disconnect.
you could fit in or saying the thing that was correct. Well, not correct, but like what was going to be cool to say at the time.
Yeah.
That's probably, so
Well,
maybe
there
that
you
is
go. There you go. Saying the thing that sounds cool at the time. They're your hippies that you're talking about. They're your them.
I mean, we
That's-
all go through that though. I mean,
Oh yeah. Oh
the things you
course.
say, you're like, and then you're like, oh, that was not, that was not me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still do it
Oh,
sometimes. Like you do it when you like, oh fuck, I don't know if I still do it, but definitely in my adult years, going on dates and shit like that, you'd be like, yeah, blah, blah, blah. Like
We all do it because we all, it's a very
say
innate
what you think they want to hear.
drive to belong. Like
Yeah.
that's the first. We need to belong. Otherwise, it's a threat to our survival. So there's not people that are like, I don't care what people think and blah, blah, blah. It's like, yeah, you might not now, but once upon a time you probably did. We are all born with this need to care about what people think, to belong, to fit in, because that comes from primitive primal wiring of human beings and, tribal times. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, just everybody listen, just be your authentic self. And I'm not telling you to do that. Do it if you want to.
Yeah.
So,
It is. It's pretty hard to be your authentic self sometimes.
oh, bloody oath.
Especially right now on a platform like where people listen, you have to expose yourself as like, I might not want people to know I'm a nerd.
Oh, I'm a
fucking
full
whatever.
nerd, man.
Yeah.
I love nerdy shit.
Yeah. I think
Like I own that.
I
But
think eventually now I'm
even
pretty-
as a kid, though, I was like a fucking geek, bro. Like you have no idea. You have no idea. It was like insane.
I didn't know this. Well,
Oh man, such a geek, bro. Like you have no clue.
I think that's probably the part of you that I like.
I like that part of me because I love escape rooms. I love solving puzzles. And
yeah,
shit.
that's
I love,
cool. That's fun. Like,
It's helped me with like reading has helped my freestyle, like all that. But just like seeing myself on camera on the home videos, it's like
Oh my God, I need to
it's
see
so bad.
this.
It's so embarrassing, man.
I need to see this.
Yeah.
I've
So-
got to. That's cute.
it's our 20-year reunion next year, or in
Yeah.
2024. So we've got the clips and I found the DVD, so I'll have to try and find some
sick.
of it
Awesome.
out of there. But we'll play it on the night whenever we.
I'm talking
talk
about when I was like
Oh,
7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. But that's still even going back then.
That's your
High school is when you're
highly
really-
formative years. So there's a very core part of you that's a geek, which
Yeah,
is
massive,
what I
massive.
like. I think
Yeah.
that's your softness as well. Like that's the part that you can, the geekiness.
Yeah.
It's good. Embrace the geek.
I was saying, I don't know if I said it on the pod the other day. I think when I was like, just for fun, I was learning the capital cities of every country. Like when I was away last week.
I love that shit, man.
And then,
That's so good.
then the next, because you do quizzes, and the next quiz was like, am I autistic?
When he sent that,
So I did the quiz.
when he sent that, I was like, "Fuck, of course you are." Like it just made perfect sense.
Yeah.
Learning all the capital cities.
That's good.
Yeah,
But that's it. That is the real you. That's
I
feel like that's-
neuroplasticity going.
I was just about to say, I feel like that's what RTT, which is why I love it so much, and like now the Healy integrating that is because it's really trying to get people back to that their true self, rewiring the ego so it shuts up and stops sabotaging. I've had some insane sessions recently. I can tell you about it.
Yeah, let's go. You don't have to use names and stuff, but
and then I forgot what I was saying, but something that's what it's doing. Well, okay, so
neuroplasticity, rewiring the way you think. One of the things, we didn't even do the RTT session for it, but the relationship with food, the little inception thing was, my trigger was growing up poor and Italian, and being, as an Italian, you're forced to eat your whole plate. Dad and Nonna would be upset if you didn't eat. You don't love me. You know, like I might cook. I'm like, yeah, I'm full. No, I love you the same. I just have had 8 bowls of pasta, And Dad be like, fucking clean up your plate. There's no room for ice cream then, is there? I'm like, well, that's what I'm leaving the room for, cunt. This is what this little bowl of fucking, see how I haven't ate that fistful?
Yeah.
That's for ice cream. But then and then like the scarcity mindset where living with mum, food was scarce. We didn't have snacks and shit. So when there was free food, that would help mum out by eating it. But I as an adult, I would anything free food, man. I would eat like so much, man. Even though I can afford it now, but there was that disconnect.
Yeah.
don't be going to buffets with him. The beast,
Yeah.
the beast comes out. It's like, oh Lord.
The Sizzler.
Yeah.
Or you can eat at Sizzler.
Oh, dude, Crown Towers buffet.
Oh, yeah.
I nearly died.
Epicurean or whatever?
Yeah, the Epicurean downstairs. I
Yeah.
nearly died, bro. I ate so much that like I almost couldn't walk to my car.
It does feel, when it's a buffet, it does feel like, what a waste.
Yes.
I've paid $40 for this.
Yeah.
I should be eating everything I can.
Yeah. So that waste mentality, and then Chelsea said, "Well, no matter if you eat it or don't eat it, it's
Or put it
going
in the
to
bin.
be, or put it in the bin. It's going to be waste anyway. So if you eat it on your body, it's waste on your body, and it gets stored as
yeah.
fat, and you don't want that waste on your body.
Yeah.
If you put it in the bin, it's still waste." Because I was like, "Oh fuck, I've never ever thought of it like that." So when you're eating that extra food, because if your mindset is I'm eating it because I don't want to waste it, food equals money. Money's hard to get. I've worked hard. I need to eat it. You can flip that mindset and go, well, the food's going to be wasted either way on your body or in the bin.
And then you're probably going to spend more money trying to shred the waste off
That's
your
right.
rig.
Yeah.
So
But then people that will eat for emotional reasons is different, right?
Yeah, I actually had a session, this morning. I do a lot of emotional destructive eating, rewiring, comfort eating, because that's the first neural pathway that's laid down in our brains, because we come out of the womb and the first thing that happens is we go on the boob or we get the bottle. And then when we cry, we're constantly feeding our newborns. So what most human beings do is they associate comfort with sweet, creamy, fatty foods. That's why we don't crave freaking broccoli when we're sad or angry, because that's the neural pathway laid down. So pretty much weekly I'm undoing these wirings. We all have it. We all comfort eat to a certain extent in different ways. And that's the reason why.
wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking,
It's correct. No.
that's not blown my mind. It makes complete sense. But never even thought of that. Why do we comfort eat? It's fucking been,
Is there anyone
ingrained in our brain since we were
any
an
way
infant.
we could get our partners to comfort suck, maybe? For some creamy.
Oh no, don't.
Creamy protein pathways or no?
No.
No?
Gross. Change subject. But yeah, I guess as well the reason why we have we get excited around sugar, that still comes from old mindset, is because sugar was scarce when we were in tribes, like honey. Let's say if someone came back with honey, you were like the king, because high energy, high GI, you could feed a baby a teaspoon of honey and that would create so much sustenance and energy. So the mind still gets very excited by honey, whereas, sugar now, whereas, meat and veggies was available. So it's not as exciting to the mind.
How?
So there's a lot that contributes with neuroscience to comfort eating. I love doing comfort eating for RTT. I actually, had one this morning. That was really interesting as well, like people tie food to parents, or if you're in bed with Nana eating biscuits and you feel good, then when you're older and you're sitting outside on your porch and you're having a cup of tea with biscuits and you feel good, it's because you're eating to feed that emotion, not your stomach, because you have tied an emotional value, let's say, to cup of tea and biscuits. So it doesn't fucking have that. You're making it have that.
Yeah.
So with the RTT stuff, is it getting to the bottom of why you do something and then having that realization makes you go, I don't need to have that anymore? Is that exactly how it works, or what's the idea behind it specifically?
Yes. There's layers to RTT. So yes, the first part is finding the root cause and reason for why you're doing what you're doing. And I'll explain RTT I had recently because it can trace very early, so people can't logically find it. So in hypnotherapy, it shuts down that logic part of the mind, the high executive functioning.
Triggered.
Goes into that subconscious mind where the memories reside, right? So
is that similar to, not sorry to cut you off, is that similar to like the experience I had with the mushrooms? Like it's a pathway to find that within myself?
Yeah, it's shut off the logic and the reasoning,
Yep.
and
then you just
comes forward.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that's what it's doing at a more potent degree, I would say. It's more potent. So that's one element of RTT. And then, finding that, creating that new understanding and awareness. But then there's the rewiring component. And that's why in RTT you get a recording, a bespoke recording. It has all your information and names and whatever of what you want. That's revealed in the session that you listen to for 3 weeks to rewire the brain. So there's two elements. There's finding the root cause and reason, and then there's actually updating the software of your mind like we do our phones, etc. Because we often live, and I've said this on the podcast before, I think, but we often live from that child mindset, because most of our neural pathways are laid actually from 0 to 3. That's the scaffolding of our personality. And then let's say from 3 to 8 is the next layer, and then from 8 to 14, so you're building your walls, and then you live the rest of your life. You might be 60 and you're still living from that 3-year-old mindset or 8-year-old mindset that isn't you, or doesn't, it's not related, it's not relevant, it's to the present.
So how do we rewire our brain? Like, so a perfect example is like with the reticular activating system, when you're spotting the red car everywhere, once you buy the red car. Is that like on a bigger scale what the rewiring of the brain is, or is it, for example, like goal setting? Is that subconsciously put into your brain and you slowly work towards it? Is that how it works, or what? How do you rewire it? How do we do that?
So there's many layers to this, but let's say repetition hardens neural pathways. The more you think about something, more so, the more you feel about something, the more you visualize something.
Yeah.
That's why I say to people,
because thinking of lack would just, will only bring on more lack. Would that be right? Like attracts like. Oh, I don't have love. I don't have. Yeah.
It's so just like the skiing down the slopes.
Yeah.
So the more you go down that slope, the harder it is ingrained.
Yeah. So you'll find those sorts of those pathways to those things that you're trying to avoid in the first place.
Yeah, and so that's why in the recording you hypnotize them first, so you really unlock the subconscious mind, and then the recording is full of really like very vivid words and imaginative language that open up the mind, that they the mind locks onto it, and then you repeat it over and over and over and over, and repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity creates hardwiring, and that's how the brain changes. Yes.
So everybody's trigger would be different. Like I know a friend of ours, mutual friend, got a lot of success for the emotional eating, or comfort eating. But that might be like different cultures have a different trigger. And to get to that, we can't talk and go, oh, so when I was little, like, yeah, my nonna would give me food and then like, I really liked her.
Yeah.
It's more, you get put in, and when you say hypnotist, you get put into like a relaxed state, just calm everything down. And Chelsea will ask you, you know, what's your first thing that pops to your head, and you don't filter yourself and you just say whatever it is, and you'll be surprised at what. Yeah. You might ignore that first thought, but you have to try and not ignore the first thought. Just say whatever you're saying.
Like removing the veil.
Yeah.
Just sort of going, well,
It's so cool. I love RTT. Like, as you guys are saying it, I'm like, that's exactly what it's like. Like, it's so exciting. I've had the most insane sessions recently where people, you can't, if you could understand the problem that you have that you don't want, then
you wouldn't need wouldn't need somebody to help you.
So because people will come to me, for example, and they will say, I am a nutritionist and I have the worst eating habits. I logically know and understand completely, but I cannot get out of this toxic looping behavior. Or I'm a relationship counselor and I have the worst relationship. I'm constantly triggered. I'm constantly triggering someone. I can't step out of this toxic cycle. That's when you come to RTT, where you logically, or hypnotherapy, or you know, where you logically can't understand or correct the behavior. So therefore it's like, okay, the seed is locked in your subconscious mind. We need to go inside and find the little sucker to create awareness, understanding, and then to rewire the mind. But, you know, recently I had a session with a client, I'm just trying to remember, had, anxiety forever. Like, said that cannot find a day. This lady's like in her 60s or something, or maybe younger, I don't know actually, could not recognise a day where she hadn't felt like that. And I was thinking, oh, interesting. And I intuitively felt, I bet you it's something to do with the womb, right? And so we went all the way back. It took ages to kind of unlock her mind. There was lots of roadblocks and obstacles because her brain, her trigger was fear of change, right? And so
I think that'd be a common fear, I guess.
Or she's autistic, maybe.
No, it was like a deep, deep fear of change, like even to the point where pushing away like change of emotions, like change of feelings. And she wanted her subconscious mind, not her subconscious, her ego wanted to keep her stuck in anxiety and feeling crap because that fear of change, and she just couldn't push past it. And then I was thinking, okay, fear of change, like you just said, we all have it, but this seemed different. And then it was just the most insane session. So she went back to the womb and she was like, hang on, I think my mum might have lost a baby in the womb with me, like she was a twin. And so that was the situation. That's why she was so scared of change, is because all of a sudden she's in the womb with this other energy, this other baby, and then miscarried. I think the mum might have miscarried at 5 months or something like that, and she didn't know, and then asked her mum, and that was the truth. So it's like,
that would suggest that you did something more along the lines of Boris than more than RTT, because that sounds like it's more of a superconscious than a subconscious, because that would be the soul remembering, because the soul doesn't enter the body until 5 or 6 months.
Depends what theory you look at. So there's a few. So in India, let's say when I was over there, they believe the soul drops in when the baby starts kicking and moving. So therefore, at 5 months the soul would have already dropped in. But then other, let's say scientists or whatever, might believe that they've now recognised that even in like IVF situations, if an embryo is viable, there's a flash of light. That's science.
You see it.
It's freaking insane. So it's like, well, is that not the soul dropping in then?
Yeah.
What's that? That's a spark of energy, is it not? You know, like there's so many different theories, and once again.
And when you say soul, you mean like that source energy, that point.
Yeah.
So, but then that's, if you believe what we believe, then that source point of energy returns back to source and can go to any time, any place, at any point of the universe. So really, there's no like point of a soul entering a body, because there is no time. Then time is just a linear, is a third dimensional, what do you call it? Measurement.
Well, but what you just said about, that's right. And then what you just said about that Was it a soul thing? Yeah, potentially. I know what you mean by that because it's so early that
Yeah.
the intelligence is, you
Like
know,
you can't
very-
logically
no.
go, oh, I remember when I was just chilling inside mum, floating around for a bit, and then I lost my brother or sister. Like, you wouldn't be able to remember that. No chance.
No, but yeah,
So-
exactly. So that's right. It could be, yeah, what you're
Something
saying. Laura.
else. So what? She remembered that somehow, and then you replanted some new thought or
Yeah, so the
saying to
rewiring
fix
part.
it?
So what is that?
This
How-
is like the movie Inception, but for good.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But so what is the
Should put a
rewiring?
spin on top
What's
there.
involved in that? Because like, okay, let's use goal setting for example. That's rewiring, I guess,
Mm.
especially if you're specific. Because you can't. I know if you're very broad, you'll just be like, oh, I want to manifest money. You know, like that's pretty broad. Like, well, you might get money, but it might be fucking. You have to work really hard for it or whatever. So being specific on what you want, that's a rewiring, I guess. You're starting to reckon. How do you rewire it? Like,
What
what's
was her next
I
move?
think that for this particular, it's always different for each client. This particular client, that penny drop of like, fuck, that's it. That's why I hate change. Was like goosebump shredding, like soul enlightening. You know, that even that awareness was enough for her to shift. You know.
Yeah, okay.
So
I
first of
get
all,
that.
yeah. So she was just like, you know, this lady is not super young, you know, so she was just like, wow, I've lived my whole life, you know, that huge, you know, awareness. And then, yeah.
But in situations like that, yeah, you can have that penny drop, and then 3 weeks later, you're back into your normal life, you're forgetting about it, and you're just back into old patterns. So I understand penny drops. I've had plenty of penny drop moments where and sometimes I fall back into old patterns, and I go, oh, no, remember, you realise, no, that's hurting you, or that's whatever. But you still fall back into them. So how do we?
Well, that's the
rewire
recording for 3. You listen
It's a
to for 3
continuous,
weeks,
yeah.
and I'll be in touch with my clients at least twice a week to just see how they're going, how they're feeling, and it's a process. Like the first week is often wobbly, and this is why I love RTT hypnotherapy so much. Is they're in a coaching container with you for a month, and I think that. Yeah, other hypnotherapies, it's at the risk of having that change, having that awareness, and then looping back into old patterns. So you really do, the recording is the vital part because that's the brain
Repetition.
changing, repetition, visualizing, you know, like this is why we say to people, if you're in a breakup situation, don't look at photos of your ex, don't listen to music, don't smell their perfume because your brain is going to keep rewiring that neural pathway. Therefore, you'll think about them more often. Therefore, you'll remember things about them more often, you know, and you'll mistake intuition for, like, I intuitively feel like I should be with this person to, no, you've just looked at things that have sparked up old memories because a neuroscientist will say that intuition is when we remember more memories, like, you know, our brain remembers everything, it's all in there, but we forget certain things. But intuition is when we start to remember the lessons that we haven't logically thought about for a long time.
So
And
would you suggest, and I don't know if this is a good technique, I'm just come up with this myself off the top of my head, so it could be terrible, but like if you want to change a character trait that you've got in yourself, or if you want to change something in yourself, to write it down and look at it every day, or to write that down every day, like journaling, I guess, is something that some people do. But is that something we could do, or like if you're saying listening to a recording, but it's just whatever it is every single day, just reinforce?
Yeah, because the mind responds to the pictures that you show it and the thoughts that you tell it. And they're more influential and potent when they come from the subconscious mind. You know, that's why you hear, I'm doing all this, but I don't know why. It's like because these pictures are so real and vivid in the subconscious mind. But even logically, like, you look at something more, you're going to move towards it. That's the red car analogy.
And can we explain for listeners why it's important to feel and see yourself in that position like it's already happened instead of I want? Because I want is obviously from a place of lack, whereas I am is I have it and you're drawing towards it. So is there a science breakdown of why that's happening in your head, or?
Yeah, that's because like attracts like at a cellular level within the atmosphere. So if you are embodying that reality, then you're drawing in that reality, magnetizing it towards you at a cellular level. And then, you know, there's that aspect. But then there's also like if you believe it to be true, you're going to start making decisions associated with that future reality, which means that it's logically going to happen, you know?
Because I'm on the elk. I'm just playing devil's advocate like Delby would do. I want to know the science behind it because people would suggest, fucking like attracts like. I've heard that, yeah, and I do agree. But like, is there any science that points to what like attracts like?
Well, it's like battery.
Magnets like repels like, which is ironic.
Yeah, and batteries like positive, negative charges. Like it's kind of that intelligence. It's like, it's like when you
because you don't have to convince me.
Like
I'm just
tuning
playing the
forks.
devil's advocate side of things. But is there a science behind saying this like attracts like, the same thing attracts the same thing? Is there a science behind that we know of?
yeah, well, that's the tuning forks and things like that. You know, if you
Yep.
can, that would be
Okay.
to be able to tune in. That's, you know, do you know what I mean when I say
Yeah,
tuning
yeah,
forks? You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
like so that would be like attracts like,
Okay.
because that couldn't happen without like attracts like.
The frequency it matches it.
Matches the frequency, yeah. So that does come down to energies, and I guess that's why the frequency, you say the high, and we talked about it at the start. Well, I know we always link back, and this comes full circle, but we talk about frequencies, and I guess high frequencies attract high frequencies, and what we would, I guess, perceive to be good always operate at the high frequencies.
Well, yeah, because inflammation, acidity, like let's say at a cellular level within the body, is low vibrating. That's why cancer grows in acidic environments, because the cells are vibrating low, things like that.
When we say low as well, do we mean slowly, and high is fast?
Like hertz.
Yeah, but would that be a more like another way to break it down? I don't know.
I don't know what you're asking.
Like vibrating faster.
Yeah, with it's the waves, like what
Yes.
you said before. Yeah,
Yep.
it's the distance between the peaks of the wave.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Because I do feel, for example, when I meditate, at the start of a meditation, I can feel my body. When I really start to meditate and get into the groove, I can feel my body like a fuzz, like a buzzing fuzz. And it's not great. I can feel, I'm fucking... It feels like, you know, when your body's shaking, like because you're anxious, it almost feels like that to a lesser point, but you're a bit more sensitive because you're concentrating your thing. And I can feel that. And by the end of it, I am not buzzing. I am just soft, if that makes sense. So I feel like that's because my vibration is faster or smoother.
yeah, 100%. And that's why we say, like, let's say cells are little cars, you know, little vehicles within your body. Frequency is like the fuel that drives it. Turn left, turn right, go here. You know, so like, for example, with the Healy, if you're generating a certain frequency from the quantum sensor and you're putting it into your cells, then you're driving your cells, you're directing your cells to match the frequency that you put into your body. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Because we're circling back to the like attracts like. That's coherence. That's in resonance.
And so by putting alcohol in my system, like we're going back
Yeah.
full circle, it's slowing down that frequency, slowing down that vibration, or lowering that vibration. So you're going to be off what you're trying to attract.
And attract inflammation, because that's what happens. Inflammation of the brain, literally swelling of the body, acidity, and of your cells vibrating at a lower frequency.
I think we just figured out a niche in the market. Let's create some high frequency alcohol.
Ooh. Is that possible?
Don't know.
Well, you can charge water. So I've got a Healy, the Mag Healy, that you can charge water. So yeah.
$20 at a festival.
You could
Well, so when
much
they
you charge
have
for
that
water.
like ionized or alkalized water and stuff, is that like what are your thoughts on all that stuff?
Oh, that's different. That's pH. That's like, you know, from alkaline to acidic, there's like a scale,
Yeah.
The pH scale.
pH scale. That's more of Delby's science realm over there.
They say, I don't know, there's mixed reports.
Yeah,
on
it's
it.
mixed because
Making the body alkaline, like your body is functional at a peak pH level. And I think it's like
and isn't
6.8 to
isn't it your
7.2
gut?
or something.
It's in your gut that it breaks it down, and you can't change that anyway.
Yeah.
It breaks it, like once it goes in there, it
Yeah.
becomes the acidity that's in your gut. And
Yeah, something like that.
something
but
along those lines.
yeah, it's mixed. It's mixed.
I mean, that doesn't
evidence.
mean adding like it's going to benefit by saying you can have whatever you want, but
Yeah. I might just talk to my drinks before I drink them, give them positive energy and be like, guys, it's going to be a great show. We're going to have a good night. We're going to make sure that when you enter my body, we're going to have positive decisions.
I love Chelsea's face.
And then when I drink it, it will have that frequency in it.
Why don't you put that on your little TikTok?
I
See
will.
how that TikTok's off.
See, she doesn't. She's not. I'm not the only one who says you little.
Yeah,
Your little
everyone
raps.
does
Put it on your little TikTok.
Yeah.
What is going on with that today?
Yeah. But yeah.
You should. Well, it's like that rice experiment they did where
Yeah, talking to the plants, talking to the
Yeah.
water.
that's how we know emotions have, emotion is energy in motion.
So they planted the rice? Is that what your one was?
No, there was a bowl of rice and, talked negatively to it every day, whatever. And then it started to get all yucky and
Yeah.
low vibrating and, rotting and brown.
Yeah.
And then the other rice, talking positively, stayed white and fresh and fantastic.
Should
We call that nice rice.
Should we do, should we do that experiment
Sure.
in here? We'll put them, I guess, one end of the window and one of so they're in the similar sort of situation.
Well, as a scientist, it needs to be in the exact same spot, exact same time, with the exact same amount of water. The only variable you change
So if we put them right next to each other?
have to be.
Okay, so we put them right next to each other. Are they going to get cross
Contamination.
contamination
Yeah,
of negative and
what's the go
positive?
with that?
Well, you need to have as much controlled environments and controlled variables as you possibly can.
Look, if we put them within within half a metre of each other.
That's fine.
Okay, we'll put them within.
As long as they receive the exact same amount of sunlight.
Yeah, we'll put them on that thing. Bang. Yeah. Okay.
Because words are like spells, Well, words are
Especially
spells. If
Expelliarmus.
you're witchy.
Is that why
Your
they-
face has just went.
Is that why? No, but is
What
that why
the
they
fuck is
call
she
it
doing now?
spelling?
Hey.
Hey, I love that you said that. Yeah, and I think about this. I actually, like another RTT I had recently, which I'd learnt years and years ago about names. When you get given a second name or
Big Dick Delby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Have you ever been called that, mate?
Yeah, myself. I'm
I thought it was-
manifesting it.
I thought it was Pin a Peach.
Yeah, no, it just won't. It won't. I've been talking on forever. It just won't grow. Must be the bad rice.
So RTT, I had this person, and their second name was of a deceased sibling that died tragically when they were young, and so carrying the weight of that name. There's many layers and elements to this because there's the psychological part, but the energy part, like the names having energies and things like that. That he felt like he carried the burden of that death in the family, and so he had this need to perform, this need to be good enough, and therefore the trigger was I'm not good enough, So it's.
I'm named after my uncle that passed away before I was born. My middle name.
Do you know about his personality and what he was like? And
Extremely smart. He was
hello.
working for ASIO.
there you go.
Yeah.
Well, hey, that's interesting because at the beginning of this podcast, we're talking about this interesting relationship that you've got with intelligence. So maybe
This was
that plays a
national
part.
intelligence.
Well, look at you go.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, I want to get Mum on as a guest one day to talk about that because there's a conspiracy about how my uncle may have been murdered by the Australian government.
What? Wow.
So,
What happened? How did he die?
well, officially, a car crash,
Oh, okay.
but
Oh, mate.
Very
We know what car crashes are.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton was clearly involved.
suspicious circumstances.
Interesting.
Yeah, very suspicious circumstances.
And what?
So-
Because he was hacking. He was doing some hacking situation.
Well, he was extremely. He was into computers before computers were a thing. He would service, and I don't want to give disinformation. Mum was telling me he would service, I think, satellites, and Mum said that men in suits would come to the house, and he was the only one who knew how to do certain equipment. But
Interesting. See, maybe maybe your superpower brain beast that we said at the beginning is connected to, the energy that's in his name, and I got goosebumps,
Yeah.
Because honestly, with what I've learned with this Healy device when I scan clients after hypnotherapy, I've kind of woven it together now, is what comes up that's stored in their DNA that's related to grandparents and ancestors is insane. Like it's so related. It's crazy. And the fact that you just said that, I'm like, oh, that gave me shivers. Like that's the kind of stuff that I've been discovering as you go deeper and deeper into, you know, cellular science, what we hold in ourselves that influence our everyday behaviors, our personality, everything.
How would you when it comes to energy, what do you think something like we got the solstice coming up and the planets and the moon and all that stuff, that must play a part on energy. So when they say that, you know, you're doing your is it astrology? Astrology, all those charts, I guess if we're going to stay that what we're thinking is true, then that would play a factor as well. Because I would take the piss out of astrology.
Do you?
No, but like it'd be the one I would if I was going to take the piss out of it. Like, the planet's there, blah blah blah.
Well,
but I know Mercury's in retrograde right now.
The zodiac signs are wrong, so it's like it's all fucked. The zodiac signs aren't even the right zodiac signs.
Isn't there a 13th zodiac sign?
Yes. So I don't subscribe too much to that, but I do think that positioning of the moon and the sun and that potentially would have a small but insignificant impact.
Well, December 21st, solstice.
It's my brother's birthday.
Yeah, it's always the solstice.
His middle name is Solstice.
That's when the end of the world was meant to be, actually.
Yeah, I know.
Or did it happen?
2012. Yeah, Mandela effect.
Mandela. There's been some pretty cool Mandela effects lately. I seen some the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah, some new ones.
Yeah, there was one that I thought of. Oh.
The Star Wars one blows my mind a little bit.
What's that, Luke?
Yeah,
I am your father.
I am your father. No, just no Luke. It's just I am your father.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I've never seen Star Wars.
Yeah, I've only seen.
I just
I've
cannot.
only seen 3.
There was one though that was recent. I was like,
I've only seen 3 of them.
kidding me?
When I was a kid.
Oh, the originals.
Yeah.
The next one's in there. I don't know. I like all movies. I'm too lenient sometimes with movies. I'm like, if I enjoyed it, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Force. Energy.
Amazing. But yeah, that's the thing I don't get is how the Healy device fucking scans your DNA, man. That sounds like bullshit to me.
But we did it on you, remember? And you were like, oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but I still don't
that's
know how.
right.
I still don't know how it works.
But you would be able to scan what frequency that you're operating at. That wouldn't be a...
So it's got a quantum sensor in there, which is...
How does that work?
So I'd have to send you a video because it'd take forever for me to explain the actual engineering of the quantum sensor.
That's what I want to know.
Okay, well, I'll send you. Okay, good. I'll send you. That's what I want to know.
100%.
Yeah, I'll send it to you for sure. I want you to
So then
understand
if you were to see, because it'd be hard to retain that information by the sounds of it, would be quite challenging to remember it all. But if you were to see that information go, yeah, okay, it makes sense now, I'll just blindly believe it works. Would that be enough for you? Or would you have to constantly be reaffirmed? How does that work again?
Reframe your question.
So like if you were to get the proof, the evidence that this is how this works, bang, and then you see it, and then it's hard to retain that information over time. So you might forget exactly how it works, but you go, I remember seeing it when I was working, and that's how it works.
Yeah, well, if I knew how it would work, I wouldn't forget how it worked.
I'm going to send it to you.
Because your brain just keeps it all.
Yeah. And I believe it will because it's a diagram and he talks about the specific engineering, like he's a scientist, quantum physicist, and also a monk, so he's kind of blended the two worlds together. I can see it in your face like,
Because if I get my head around something initially,
Yeah.
I can understand it, and then I'll just go, my brain's got too many fucking things going on it. I trust it now. And then I leave it, I'll let it go. And then someone can go, how does it work? And I go, I can't remember, and I can refresh. And I go, yeah, that's right. And then I can explain it again.
Well,
but you seem to be able to go, I've got it, and then that's it.
I feel like when you understand the engineering, because I understand this, I have a few people that want to know the engineering and they have that engineering scientific background, so they just get it. And the video is good. It's got diagrams and arrows and a drawing and, the architecture of it. And so, and then you've had a scan, and in your scan you were like, yep, that's true. Yeah, that'd be true. Then surely that combined information will make you understand.
Possibly, yeah.
Possibly. Okay, I have a challenge. I'll send you the video.
Yeah.
Is there a way, somewhere we could put that video up, or like a way it works?
Can
Yeah,
we
of
do a
course.
live scan right now again to see if it matches or no? Did you bring your scan
Yeah,
stuff?
we can do it. It just might take a little bit. How long have we got?
Oh, no rush. Just
Yeah.
however
is it?
long Scotty wants to.
2:30.
Okay, so you want to
chill
do
over
an
there on an
aura
iPad?
scan? Let me just make sure I've got enough
Yeah, so
battery.
Did you
How
say
do-
wait aura scan?
Yeah, so this is where it's like, come on, man.
Wow.
I believe in auras, but how does it scan it?
So what? Yeah, that's interesting that you believe in an aura, but you don't believe that we can scan it.
Chakras. We're scanning your chakras, so the energy bodies of the system.
Okay. Let's do it.
Hope I've got enough battery, you big beast.
So, but I would be the same though. I was just playing devil's advocate there. But how do you fucking measure an aura, or how do
Yeah.
you measure a chakra? I think the same. But
Well, the chakras, each chakra vibrates. It's a different color. It's a different frequency. It's a different hertz, And in order for a chakra to be healthy, it's a certain color. That's where people see auras and colors. And obviously you have to be vibrating at a high frequency to be able to see that.
I used to be able to see auras when I was younger.
so if you're
See? What the fuck, man?
So if
Why
you're
how can-
vibrating at your highest frequency, like in the best possible way you could be, you're fit, you're eating well, you're not drinking, you're meditating, you're always happy, you're finding positives and negatives, blah blah blah. You're working through emotions. If you're in that, surely you're going to be living a fucking life of abundance as well. Now, what if there's someone that is like that? Everything that I've just said, but they're fucking pov as shit. Now,
We call them monks.
I'm assuming that would happen.
Yeah, because maybe they don't need... Everyone's got a way to explain away. They have a way to explain away
Yeah.
if something's not going right.
Well, that's like God. We're all saying the same thing. We've got a different label. We've got a different way of explaining higher source, God, Buddha,
Yeah.
Allah.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Because the way that they would explain away that is go, well, obviously his life of abundance doesn't need a expensive house. He doesn't need all
Yeah.
that. That is their life of abundance.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's always an answer, man. They've always got a fucking excuse or an answer.
Yeah.
Oh no, the battery's flat.
An excuse or an answer.
I put the my low frequency has run it
I
flat.
can charge it for a bit and see, but I can imagine that we're probably...
Yeah,
Getting to
maybe
the
you can do it off camera or
I had
as
a,
a Patreon it.
I had a dream. Speaking of God and all that, I had a dream last night, and this when everything, when you're tripping and stuff and everything makes sense for that temporary second. I had it in a dream last night, and I tried to wake up and write down the sense of what I'd made of something, and I couldn't do it. And I'm not very good at remembering my dreams, even straight away. I'll be like, but everything made sense.
Yeah.
It was, but the person who was telling me it all was Alan Watts.
Yeah, right.
So it was like it's like he manifested as the perfect person delivering me the message, and I went, it all makes sense. That's so easy and
You
simple.
think it does, but the reality is
Yeah.
the dream-like stuff, you try and explain it, it doesn't make
It
sense.
didn't
at
make
all.
sense at all, and I was like, but it did. It like for that temporary moment, and I woke up and I tried to write it down on my notepad to try and go, I got to tell Delby this, and then see if he thinks it's the same. And then I was like, I can't even write.
I had a dream that Joe Rogan came on the pod.
Oi.
But I woke up and Joe Rogan was playing, like on my iPad.
Ah.
So it just inception. Happens all the time. man.
Whatever I was, probably.
Whenever I'm listening to it, it goes in my brain.
Yeah, I was probably listening to Alan Watts' lectures. What he said, what did make sense.
Yeah. What else has been tickling your fancy lately?
Huh?
What else has been tickling your fancy?
Well, I was just going to say about dreams is what's been tickling my fancy at the moment, I'm really loving like neuroscience stuff, like sort of what I've been talking about.
Should learn the capital cities of the world.
Is that neuroscience?
Yeah.
And I just love the Healy and scanning people's cellular systems, which it should only take 5 minutes to charge, so we'll see. But the intelligence that comes up is so helpful for people to move forward. And then it sends you the medicine as well.
What do you mean?
It's pretty amazing. It sends you the frequency so that your system can be in coherence and resonance. So it picks up I'm going to use not scientific language here, but it picks up what's out of whack in your system at a cellular level. So let's say we do the aura scan, remember at my house, we put in a future focus that you want, and it will scan your cellular system and say, in this moment, what is out of whack with the the frequency of that future focus, which is what we were talking about before. So, you know, if you can, we were talking about if you visualize and you can see the future you very vividly, then it magnetizes back in. It's pretty much doing the same thing, but it's just easier. You know, it's such a shortcut to being able to manifest your reality and see your blocks. And, you know, like you were saying about mushrooms, is like, is it the cheats way? Is it whatever? Yeah. It's the same thing, you know, like it's not. We're all kind of doing the same thing in different ways, except for there's nothing like the Healy out there. Nothing.
Yeah.
It's
so
amazing.
I guess...
How does it not pick up Branchy's things?
Because we
How's it like? Because
so
if it's picking
funny
up on
your face.
quantum, how does it not go?
Because remember we put your frequency in, we held it in your hand and it took a snapshot of your frequency in the device.
Okay, I don't remember that.
Okay. So, but like, let's go from a logical 3-dimensional sort of style of trying to do what you just said. So if you're trying to align with certain ideas and whatnot and work towards your chakras have to be aligned and energy. Let's move away from there. Surely the logical way is to just go, okay, I need to go. This is the point in which I want to go to. Be very specific where you want to go and what I'm doing right now align with what will take me on that path to get to that point.
Yes.
Now, if it's like, okay, I want to be the CEO of a tech company and I'm working in a sheet metal factory, is that working towards my path? And if it isn't, what do I have to do to get to that point? And it does mean like, well, that guy would actually be working on a side hustle that night. So make sure when you get home, you're doing this. And that there's logical step-by-step breakdowns of way of getting to there. Some people would say that's all you're doing. And it's not a woo-woo science. It's not an energy thing. It's just breaking things down logically step by step.
Totally. And that's why I mean, I've been a counsellor for 10 years. That's got nothing to do with energy. Mm-hmm. And so, yes, I do like talk therapy and psychology and counselling and theory and exactly what you just said, goal setting and making choices and decisions to move toward that reality and all that. There's that. But a lot of people sabotage, right? A lot of people logically, like we were saying earlier, understand what they need to do and the steps they need to take to get there. But there's something that's holding them back that they can't actually find, locate, make sense of. And that's when RTT comes into it, because we're doing hypnosis and we're finding those blocks in the subconscious mind. Because remember, we lay the foundations of our personality between the ages of 0 and 3 and then 0 and 8. So some people can't remember that. So, you know, they can't find their blocks. They're like, I know I need to make that decision and not eat that fucking piece of cake in order to lose weight, but I can't help but eat that piece of cake.
Now, sorry, Karen.
So then it's like RTT. And then I would say that in my career, it's been like, first I started off as an art teacher to try and help people like sort of, or drama to help people unpack and blah, blah. Then I moved to counselling and then I was like, talk therapy's good, but it's just not getting deep enough. Then I moved to hypnotherapy. I was like, that's great, but then we can take it a step deeper and do Healy and quantum stuff. So I would say that it is, some people do thrive just on talk therapy, and they can make, through awareness and understanding, decisions and arrive at their path. I mean, like there's plenty of people like that, but some people can't because they've got hidden traumas or whatever that they can't move past logically.
Because that makes the logic side of things. This morning I went and redid my goal settings for the next 2 to 3 months. And I looked at my recent ones and what I had just done. And I was like, okay, let's go tick off what I have and haven't achieved. And in my ongoing goals, I had a list of 6 or 7 things that I had written down, and they were all pretty specific on what I wanted to achieve. And then my podcast goals were the most broadest, most like there was nothing in them. There was I don't know. I even looked at it going, what is that? Like that's not a goal. And all of the ongoing goals I had, I don't know whether subconsciously just worked towards them. You could say energy aligned towards them and I'd forgotten about it and just went that way, or you could go reticular activating system, whatever you want to talk about. It's worked. But all 5, 6, 7 of those goals, bang, 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 tick, 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 all of the podcast goals, I was looking at them and I was like, I don't even know what the fuck that is. How am I meant to tick that off? So now I've reworked for specifically the podcast. I don't even have podcast goals. I just have goals, and I've been very specific now in those things. I'm just curious as to whether or not that is, again, is it energy or is it like, oh, fuck, you subconsciously put it in there and just started working towards it?
Both, you know, and that's why that's why I like doing both. I like doing counselling. I like doing the both. I think that in order to understand and to arrive at a future reality that you want, getting very specific once again makes it vivid to the mind, and so it attaches to it. If it's open and vast, the brain can't see it, therefore it gets lost within the network of the mind. Once again, energetically or psychology, if people can't see it, believe it, feel it, they're not going to move toward it.
So that's
science.
I'm only playing devil's advocate because I truly believe, the see it, believe it, feel it, align with your energies. And you like attracts like. I'm just playing devil's advocate there. But I can see how people can look at that and go, oh, of course you didn't achieve your goals, because they weren't goals at all. They were just things you wrote on a fucking board. But if it's a specific thing, first thing I did this morning after I wrote that, I was like, I can achieve that goal right now. Sent the message, sent Delby a message, locked in. Something. Well, we'll talk about that another time. But
Well, that's right.
Achieved one of the fucking short-term goals that I within 10 minutes of writing it down, because I seen it there and I was like, well, I can actually do that right now.
Awareness, awareness. I mean, that's like talk therapy. Like, what are you aware of? What are you not? What are you unaware of? I guess RTT and healing and things like that, we're looking into the unconscious. Whereas talk therapy, counselling, psychology, we're looking at what's conscious. And you can move so much from your conscious mind. I mean, there's people that live their entire life not believing in energy and being so successful. You don't have to incorporate energy stuff. You don't have to. And some people, it's not aligned. Like they can create success.
Sex, see it, believe it, feel it. The clitoris, I don't know where it is, but that's my whole goal.
They can create success just from logical decisions, and you could say that that's what energy is doing anyway.
That would be the I guess like the Andrew Tate style, or the fucking Jordan Peterson, or these sorts of motivational side of things, where they go and just pull yourself together, find a direction and work towards it step by step logically. Yeah. That's what they sort of go down. They're not going down the energy wavelength and stuff.
It's just alignment though. That's all it is.
It is, yeah.
It's all putting everything into alignment with what you want.
So they're both the same, really.
Exactly the same.
So whether you want to break it down in a logical way to help a friend, but then there's the energy way to help a friend, they're both the same.
Yes. In a different... they're not...
To a point?
To a point, yeah. I mean, they're not really.
Yeah.
We're looking at a different part of the brain. We're looking at the subconscious mind and the conscious mind, so it's not really the same, but equally can be effective, and they don't have to be interwoven. Like, some people create, like I said, so much great success from just making logical decisions and having goals and having tools and tangible techniques and awareness. That's all counselling, talk therapy stuff. And then other people are stuck in, looping toxic negative patterns, can't get out of it, can't logically break through it, etc., etc. Then we need to go deeper.
And I'm just playing devil's advocate with all that, because I still truly believe in all that. But it's just sometimes people aren't ready to hear that one, so you can give them a logical step-by-step breakdown.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I like the devil's advocate stuff because I've been there as well. I didn't just blindly believe. I'm kind of like Delby. I need to understand, but I dedicated exploration to create understanding. Like, I was like, I need to understand this, and I went psycho on Joe Dispenza, every book, Bruce Lipton, and I really wanted to understand it. And then I got it. It kind of clicked. And I think that I mainly understood it through experience with my clients and was like, whoa, like this is insane. I've seen it. I've experienced it. Now it's like locked in. I get it. I understand it.
Love that.
I might create a book called Delby's Advocate.
I want to do the Healy scan on you, but maybe we can try now if we have time. I just don't want to keep banging on.
No.
And boring.
Let's
but you guys have a little chat while I just see if she's ready to go.
She?
Do you think it's going to...
Is it a Sheely?
Do you think it's going to, like, attach to, like, your weekend, for example? Because your energy from the weekend, surely that affects, like, your like,
I'm low as fuck at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not the greatest either. So
completely low energy.
You can even tell by the way we're talking. Like, umming and ahhing, trying to fucking fumble our way through sentences. It's never... Yeah. Alcohol is not good for you.
Yeah.
It's not. That's why I'm really interested to see what this next 75 days after after the pint to pint.
Yeah,
goes.
I'm blocking out. I know that I'm going to have a few big nights.
Mm-hmm.
I've got, I think, possibly this Friday, an event. Then Christmas Eve, I've booked in. I'm hosting the Left Banks. If anyone's around, come say hello because I'll be down there by myself. 3 till 6, I think, 7-ish. Then Boxing Day will be big. Lock that one in. And then New Year's Eve will be chill, but New Year's Day will be big. And then potentially the 6th and 7th of Jan, I've got a wedding. And then the 5th and 6th, wedding. And the 6th, Rufus are back.
Rufus.
Good. So there's a big festival, Wildflower, I think it's called. Not Wildflower, Wildlands. So possibly go large, and then I'm away in Bali on the 7th for 10 days. I know I'll go out on the Monday, and then the rest I'm like, we'll suss it out. And then Fringe will be 4 weeks of no drinking, nothing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, well, that's
'cause I won't be going out during Fringe. Like I know it's too much.
yeah. I mean, I just don't like going out anyway.
Well, don't go out.
Yeah, I was just like, I definitely don't like going to clubs.
Yeah.
I'm just fucking done
Sunday
with it.
Well, like a session.
Sunday session is perfect. Yeah, a couple of beers on the coast, watching the sun go down, chatting, having a chill out with your mates.
Day drinking and day stuff's like way better. What am I
On to
doing?
it.
So people listening, I'm holding this device that looks like it's made in Thailand.
Okay, so what's he doing?
So I've got
Put it on my head.
your
see?
frequency saved in the device because you don't need to put it on your head.
Can I get today's frequency?
You scan do you want to record your?
Yeah, let's redo. Because
It's just going to take a while. Okay.
yeah,
That's fine.
do I have to like? What's these little lights?
Just going to give a shout out to my daughter as well. She's been so patient today. It's amazing what a babysitter iPad can do.
So I've just taken a snapshot of your vibration, your frequency, and it's stored in the device. And so now when you hold on to it, I'm just going to record your aura. So just tune into your body.
So how do we record my aura? Hang
I'm
on,
going to send you a video.
listeners.
It's already done, mate. It's already done. But I'm going to send you a video about the engineering, okay?
Okay.
So interpretation, it's saying that your forehead chakra, your brow is high, your throat chakra is high, and your heart chakra is high, okay? So
It's probably all the cocaine.
we're going to do a deeper analysis now. So actually your energy is pretty good. Like your higher chakras, so your crown, your brow, your throat, and your heart are all high, but your root, sacral, and solar are lower.
I'm hell shit at roots. So what is that?
So
Are you
it's
saying
saying
lower
that you're
frequency?
just not as potent, not as healthy, not shining as brightly in their colours and their frequencies.
My
So
sacral's where my back is, right?
Yep, your sacral is like so root is about stability, and it's about your sense of self and your home and where you are and your roots. And I am, that's a bit low at the moment. Your sacral is to do with your creativity, your empowerment, your sense of self, but more at like a sexual and creative and more personal, connective side of it, as opposed to the root that's more about like physical stability and all that. And then your solar's about your drive, your motivation, your ability to move through like fears and your doing. Like your solar's about like, another side to sense of self. But then it's saying, like your heart, so that's like about joy and love and connection to others, your ability to be able to express yourself. Your throat is high, your forehead, your ability to be able to visualize and manifest and see, all that is high. And also your crown is high, so that's your connection to the divine and all that is high. So your upper chakras are high, your lower ones are low. So we're just going to go into right, so now you need to tell me a focus. So we put a focus into the scan so that it's scanning your systems, your energetic systems in with the focus in, like it's within this focus.
Let's do health and exercise.
So I am healthy.
Yeah, and pain-free.
and pain free. Did you want to make it even more specific?
Pain free in my lower back.
And so this will then create a frequency that is going to then go through Delby and help him heal those chakras in that way.
Yeah, so at the end, yeah. So first of all, we'll look at what's out of whack. We're going to include subconscious readings as well. The reading's quite deep and it takes a while to go through, so I'm just going to skim through it when it comes up, okay? Okay, so hold the Healy, tune into your body.
Oh, God. He's doing lotus pose. That is facetious.
Okay. So when it comes to the focus of I am healthy and my lower back is pain-free, it's come up that, okay, so this is 97% relevant to you right now. It's 3%. It's kind of like kinesiology. So as I'm reading out these numbers and letters and things like that and what they mean, it's like kinesiology. So for those of you who understand kinesiology and energy and where it's stuck and all that, it's pretty much that in a device, right? So 97% relevant, this particular reading, this first part, 3% potent, which means that it's quite subtle. So it's either that you're aware of it and so you're moving through it, or that that it's just subtle in your cellular system. And it's LM, so it's in your mental. So it's saying that the person has had the experience of having their feelings about a male person hurt. So this is also a German device, so it can sometime in translation come across a bit confusing.
Oh, I do feel bad about Hitler being murdered. So what does it say? I have feelings about a male person being hurt.
Well,
So
thanks, buddy.
Yeah. Is that male person me? Can I feel sorry for myself?
So it's saying that in relevance to you being healthy, and so this is what I was saying about support and your childhood and dad and things like that, is that the person has had the experience of having their feelings about a male person hurt. So you had this idea, like we were saying, about authority, about people that are, commanding, demanding, telling you what to do. It's in a male energy in your life and it's been hurt. It's been like, well, this isn't true. This is bullshit. Mm-hmm. Live the way you're preaching. And that's exactly what I said before about your back and dad and, support and things like that. So it's going to vibrate the frequency to you. I am in harmony and connected with my own feelings and, authority and things like that. It goes deep, but, I'm just skimming over. Mm-hmm. The next one is 87% relevant. Once again, the potency is low, so you more than likely know this. It's in your mental realm as well. The person is about to stop emotional extortion through money. Interesting. We were talking about it at the beginning. It's going to vibrate to you, I am free from the influence of money and I am living in abundance. So it's saying that in order for you to be fully healthy and pain-free, there is a emotional extortion when it comes to money. We're actually talking about that at the beginning of this call.
So what I feel extorted by...
Well, what you were saying about your finances at the beginning. Mm. Yeah, well, it's like, I want to be here, but I am here. And it's, you're very influenced with money when it comes to you being healthy, pain-free, living in abundance. Yeah. That money is holding you back. And you literally said that at the beginning. Yeah. Yeah?
Pre-pod
chats. Okay, the next one is 87% relevant. It's 6 potency, so it's quite potent, maybe not so aware of this. The person can only perceive personal freedom if they no longer participate life on the inside but lose themselves in their dreams. I've never seen this reading. Okay, the person can only perceive personal freedom if they no longer perceive. Okay, so it's saying that you lose yourself in your dreams, your future dreams, and so that you're disconnected from the here and now and making decisions toward personal freedom in the here and the now.
Okay.
The manifestation. That would be common, hey, that one. Not common, but like a lot of people always thinking and planning for the future, and it makes them not appreciate what's happening right now.
Yeah, so it's what it's saying is I'm going to be healthy and I'm going to be pain-free there. I'm going to get there, and there's a lack of connect to this is what I need to do here and now, and the power is today.
Yeah, like I got to go to the gym.
Yeah, that one. not spend $100 and something on Uber Eats. Mate.
Well, that made me aligned with how I needed to do it.
Okay, next one is 84% relevant, 3% potent. This is in your emotional body. Okay, the person has a pronounced need for power.
Is this about me or is this about
Hang on a sec, let me read it for 2 secs.
mein Führer?
Was this like the
Okay,
what we
so
were
what
getting
it's
at with
saying-
the control?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's saying, it's in my head. It's saying your emotional sense of power is in your throat chakra. So you talk the talk, but there's a fear in your solar plexus that's holding you back about yourself and your ability to be able to achieve what you're so easily able to express.
Oh, the imposter syndrome almost. Yeah.
Yeah, I've said that as well before, saying that. Like, even going to America to do comedy, my gut isn't really in it. It's just my head.
Yeah.
A lot of self-doubt about being a famous comedian, especially after bombing on Friday night at High John's. Worst set of my life.
That's it.
Yeah.
No.
fucking
He
horrendous.
got the drunkest part of the night.
It was
Everyone,
so
we just
bad.
played a game. Everyone was loud and talking. Even the comedians who had been on were at the back just talking and stuff.
It was so bad, man.
You had no attention.
Freestyle was horrific. It was all shit. Continue.
Okay, so this one is subconscious,
So
but it's
embarrassing in front of listeners.
high. We'll talk about this at the end. I like you being embarrassed. No, there's something. I see the innocence. I see the inner geek come out, and I'm like, oh, I really like him. Okay,
The
so
humility.
this one is subconscious, so it's negative 83%. So it's high relevancy. It's 7% potent, so it's quite potent in your emotional body. The person is financially providing for other people who
Fucking oath.
who they perceive as moochers. I fucking never read this reading before. This is interesting. So it's that's contributing to your ability to feel powerful and healthy, and that's because when your back goes off, it's related to support, right?
I have a lot of money owed to me right now that I've lent to 3 or 4 different sources.
So it's going to vibrate to you that you know that you receive appropriate compensation for everything I give financially, so that people will actually give back to you, and that will help you feel like rooted in your reality. Like that's why your root chakra's off, because you're like, fuck, that person owes me money. I'm trying to get here. I need stability. I need a house. I need that sense of self. But that fucker owes me money. How am I going to get to that reality? It lives in my dreams. It doesn't live in today.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the next one. It's almost done.
I want to do one of these after.
Accurate one.
I want to do this after the pod
Yeah.
if we have time.
Yeah. So the next one is negative 83% relevancy. So it lives in your subconscious realm, yet it's very potent. It's 8 and it's in your emotional body. The person knows that they refuse to live one or more themes of the sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is about motivation, doing, empowerment, moving through your fears. They show avoidance behavior at times. Yeah, so they're saying there's a lack of trust in being able to be fully healthy, fully pain-free. Yeah. And you don't know what to do. It's like, well, what do I do? I've done everything. So it also says that. Like,
This is pretty bloody, seems pretty bang on.
The heel is winning me back over.
I can see it in your eyes.
I don't know how this fucking little plastic shitty thing does it though.
It's just
I will
the
send
housing.
you the engineering video and we can attach it to the episode because, yeah, I find the engineering really interesting as
Yeah,
well.
we'll put it in the show notes.
Yeah.
Is it like a YouTube video or something, or?
Don't know.
Okay.
I've got it though.
Cool.
So this one, negative 84, relevant, 8% potency. It's in your emotional body. The person is afraid to make decisions and take responsibility for them at times. Thereby, they are confronted with strong emotions.
I disagree with that one.
Let me read a bit deeper and let me try and unpack it for
Is
you.
this zapping me with that good shit or what?
Not yet, hang on. Okay, so what it's saying is that the fear is holding you back from making decisions that is going to make you stable in life.
Okay.
Okay, does that make more sense?
Yep.
Good. Okay, this is the last reading. Negative 88%, relevant 7%, potency, and it's in your mental realm, but also connected to your grandparents, their lineage, their influence. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to make sense of the numbers and letters. There's a lot. The mother tried to take the father's role as well. Fuck, that's crazy.
But that would be not my grandparents.
So what it's saying that in, hang on, let me just read it a bit, the root chakra. Okay, so what it's saying is that, you grew up with a single mum, yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so did she take on the father's role as well? Mm-hmm. So there's almost like this sense of guilt tied towards that with you because, but mind you, it's saying that this energy is good. So the mother is living in her nurturing female principle, and that is, so it's saying that is the good side to your energy. That is the part that's helping you, because it's that's what's helping you move towards more groundedness in your decisions and things like that. It's that your mum stepped up and took on the father's role, but she's also nurturing.
Yeah, that's mum.
That mum? Mm-hmm. Okay, so now I'm going to vibrate these frequencies to you. I'm just going to do it for a minute. So it's going to balance out those frequencies. So we're sending things like I'm in harmony and connect to my feelings. I am free from the influence of money that, takes away your power and all that. And then when the frequencies go into your cells and we're creating coherence and resonance, you might feel that your back the pain starts to dissipate.
I hope so, because it fucking hurts today.
It's fucking cool, isn't it?
Would that be now that you've said that though, could that be a placebo?
Not for me.
I'm not lying when I say
I want it to work.
I have not seen, whatever I said, I hadn't seen this before. I had not seen that reading before, yet it was so aligned with you. I promise you.
I'll tell you off mic about the mooch thing as well. Been very, very heavy lately. So it pisses me off because it's like, why do I have to support all you cunts? Like, I fucking busted my ass for this shit. It's not my issue. So
He's a good man.
This is why, he is. Still want my sandwich, sorry. I mean, I believe when your back flares up, it's so emotional. This is why I'm like, you're going to get one. I feel it. One day I'm going to win you over. You got to. It's amazing. Cheap. What people are
How much are they?
Very expensive.
It depends on the model, but what people are curing themselves of is insane. Like I've got someone that, with rheumatoid arthritis, diabetes, it's crazy. It's great. Anyway.
How's your back, Delby?
Mate, I'm fucking about to walk on water.
Fucking flying.
Motherfucking flying. Anyway, all right. Well, good. Thanks, Charles.
Yeah, it's a fun episode. I always love it when you're on, Charles.
Thanks.
Do you have
I love
anything
being here.
you want to plug?
No, I think I've plugged enough.
If people want to buy Healy for the low price.
Yeah, we always have great discounts. We just had 50% off, which was insane. I've never seen one like that. But yeah, just contact me and I'm happy to talk to people about it just to chat, there's no pressure to buy, but if it interests you, reach out. Same with RTT. I'm happy to talk to people for free, whatever. I love it.
What have we got to plug? New Year's Eve show.
Am I on that one?
Yeah, you said you were going to come down.
Cool.
At the Saint. Finishes by 10, so might even go out somewhere after. But
I'll be on 75 hard then by then.
Yeah. So you can give us a lift.
I can. I'll be the.
Well, I was going to drive anyway.
I'll be the DD.
Always rated. Always overrated.
I used to be the designated driver all the time when I was younger, and then it got to a point where it went from, probably 19, 20. I was always designated to like, nope, never again.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll drink New Year's Eve. We could do what we did last year and come and do the midnight pod.
Yeah, I like that.
But it just depends.
Yeah, I don't know, Scotty.
So. And then Fringe World shows. Now, Daniel Delby, at Daniel Delby, Instagram, I got my links to all my shows, Sesh Stories, 33 Single Date Night Comedy, Confessional, Who's Rhyme. Check them out.
Nothing to plug but the podcast, because that's my job.
Yep.
I'm in. I'm in.
Share with your friends.
Yeah, get it in. Oh, I do have a goal. I wrote down a short-term goal. I'm going to put it out there because that's going to help me manifest it. We've got 40 Patreon members at the moment.
Yeah.
I want to up it in the next 1 to 3 months to 60.
Nice.
So just get on there. $5.
Yeah.
I don't care what it is. 60. I didn't even put a goal for like how much money I want to be making out of it.
Yeah.
Let's get it to 60 Patreon members. You're going to get 2 extra episodes a month minimum, and a bit of extra bonus content and some discounts to shows and stuff. And you would have got an automatic invite to the
A
Christmas
free one.
Christmas show.
Yeah.
So,
Build the community.
yeah. Sick.
Yeah.
Volgens zeg.
Eichmal.
Boy.
Bye.